Hello, my friends. Between interest rates, inventory, what should I use a real estate agent? Should I not use a real estate agent? There's so much confusion out there. And today I want to share a little clarity on everything to be able to help everybody else make the right decision. So again, Eric Hatch with Century 21. Thank you so very much for joining on this great day in regards to our new market update that I'm excited to share. I wanted to share number one here that a lot of people going on with some negative news out there that, hey, you don't need to use a real estate agent. Do it on your own. And I just want to say that there's this new survey that just came out. About 76% of the people thought that they would obviously use. And when they're buying a home, they should definitely have someone who represents your interest during the whole process. But there's 24% of the people that home is something that you can do mostly on your own, perhaps just with a lawyer or help with the paperwork, which is true. There's you can do whatever that you would like to do on that, but certainly having a real estate agent that is going to lead and guide you all the way through, I think it's very important. Just as if I was going to go on an airplane and wanted to have a pilot fly me, or you have a surgery, I would like to have somebody who knows what they're doing, and a tax accountant or whatever it might be. So just there are certain times where you might be able to do something yourself, but having that professional person helping you guide you through, I thought that was kind of nice. And the survey talked about that 91% of respondents agree it would be very stressful to navigate the home buying process without a real estate agent or broker. I will tell you that there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that I try to smooth over and not allow my buyer or my seller to see all of the craziness that's going behind the scenes, discussing what's going on with the other agent and negotiation, all that type of stuff, and just bring the facts to the table to make it feel and more smooth. But at the same time, people need to realize that there's a lot more that goes on to that. So I thought it was kind of a nice in this new survey that came up. So what is going on with the spring inventory? Have you guys seen a little bit of a spike on inventory? Are you seeing a lot of new listings that are coming on? Well, just on the national level, the inventory of homes actively sale increased in about 45 of the 50 of the largest metro areas compared to last year. And for the larger metro areas, inventory was above the pre-pandemic levels. So I like to look at this graph right here that I want you guys to glance at, because I've got some clients right now that are moving over to Kentucky. And I've got some clients that are moving into Montana and also up here and also into Tennessee right here. And even one that was thinking about moving to either North or South Carolina. So if you look at the inventory that is spiking up right here, that you can see that 57% increase in Florida. That means, again, supply demand. So you can see if the lesser amount of inventory, then maybe the prices will go up and you're going to be competing against other offers. So when you look at Nevada, 26% decrease in Nevada over the year from year. So that tells me that that's still a pretty hot market where you're going to be able to negotiate maybe a little bit more. But if you have, or less, I guess, in Nevada, but negotiate more in Florida because there's more inventory on that. So you got to look at the supply demand there, but national average about 23.5. I like to show these because we have a lot of people coming and going in and out of California to kind of show you where things are kind of going. Realtor.com recently shared that for the first 3 months of this year, the inventory of homes actively for sale was at the highest level since 2020. However, while inventory this March is much improved compared to the previous 3 years, it is still down 37.9 compared to the typical 2017 and 2019 levels. You can look at the average prices down here, 200 to 350. That price range. I would say in our area, general area, Placer, Nevada County, that we're probably closer to a 350 to 500 kind of price point in that price. But I want to share that there's a lot more houses. I just got back and looked at a $299,000 home. Yes, it needs a little bit of love and work, but it's on 2 acres of land. There's a home in Lake of the Pines that's under 400. There's a home in Lake Wildwood that is just into the $300,000 range. A Meta Vista home that just came on the market for $450,000. I haven't seen that type of inventory and that type of pricing in a long time. So you got to look at this all around. Just can't think of the negative news, because you got to look through the negative, push through the negative, and look for the positive of finding the home that actually fits best for you. So here's just a little bit of some graphs of where it's kind of headed and where the traditionally in the last several years. And here we are a little bit, kind of going to spike that even way in here into the March area versus last couple of years. There's actually some other inventory there. Realtor.com continues to say, providing a boost to the overall inventory, sellers turned out in higher numbers this March, and newly listed homes were 15.5% above last year's level. Now, you've kind of seen some of our graphs in the past that talk about how many people actually have like have an interest rate, a seller that has an interest rate under 3%. There's a big group of that, but you're now starting to see that they're finally realizing, I've got to move. I can't hang on to this. Yes, I don't want to have a 7% interest rate, but I need to make a move, family, business, whatever it might be. So you're seeing a lot more of those homes actually coming on the market, which then it actually opens up more inventory. And those people actually have more equity, so they can be a little bit more negotiable when they put their house on the market. So kind of a fun statistic there. So you can see you got newly listed homes 23 versus 2024, and you can see that we are right here at 396 in March versus the 342. So this is going to be interesting to see where this goes, and then generally it falls off here because more homes sell, and then but that we are talking about the listing season during the spring, which I truly feel in Placer, Nevada County that spring has started. Just yesterday got 3 new buyers that were interested in looking at homes and purchasing homes in this general area. Doug Duncan, a senior vice president and chief economist from Fannie Mae, recently said, quote, consumer attitudes towards home selling conditions increased markedly in February, with current homeowners in particular expressing greater optimism that it's a good time to sell, a development that may foreshadow an upcoming increase in existing home listings. So we are getting more people thinking maybe it's time for me to sell and get moving. So that's talking about the inventory. Inventory's on the rise, letting you know, buyers out there, you've got more choices. So there are amazing prices and amazing deals, in my personal opinion, that are out there in today's world of real estate. So mortgage rates, what's going on with those beauties? NerdWallet said the Federal Reserve influenced mortgage rates, but doesn't set them, as a March 2024 meeting that the central bank kept the federal funds at the rate unchanged and said it would keep an eye on economic developments to decide what the next rate might be. So they're still feeling that there's going to be some rate movement towards the end of the year. Obviously, they left them again for the next meeting. They left them where they needed to be. Forbes just says current expectations are that the Fed will start to cut rates at some point between June and September. The exact timing depends on how the incoming economic data looks. The Fed's March meeting did not set up the prospect of a near-term interest rate cut, but summer cuts appears likely. Remember, I've shared this with a lot of times, that in a recession, that the real estate market kind of is the first one to go in, and it's always the one that leads the country out. So I really feel that we get these interest rates in a more normal setting, maybe closer to a 5 or 6. That would be fantastic. I bought my first home at 10%. So obviously that, a 7% for me doesn't seem so crazy, but I know prices are high, and that's why you just got to seek and search for the best deal that's out there. So you can see their Fannie Mae and NAR, all the average of the 3, they're basically feeling that here we come into the fourth quarter, that we're going to get maybe into the 6.10, 6.2. Keep in mind, we did actually reach these levels about a month ago, and now they've gone back to 7. So they do fluctuate, even though the Feds did not cut the rate, they do fluctuate a little bit there. So you can see the demand when you have a rate in the 7%. You can see the buyer demand is weak, but I don't know most real estate agents. I'm not sure where you guys are at, but my demand right now for buyers coming and going is high. And so it's been good. And some might say, well, you have all cash offers. That's not true. I only have a small percentage of cash buyers, and the rest of them are people who are getting a loan around the 6.9. It was my last one that we just put into contract this weekend. So when those interest rates get down here into the 6s, yes, they'll be good and a strong buying demand that we're actually going to see. Lawrence Young, a chief economist from the National Association of Realtors, recently shared housing demand has been on a steady rise due to the population and job growth, though the actual timing of purchase will be determined by the prevailing mortgage rates and wider inventory choices. Yes, I've had a lot of people that have said, you know what, Eric, I'm going to sit on the sideline. I'm going to wait for some prices to come down. I'm going to wait for the interest rate to come down, and I'm just going to kind of hang on and rent, which is fine. You can totally do that. But when you zoom out, and affordability is still very, very low from a historic perspective. This is kind of a crazy graph that I want to share with you, because it literally is on historic levels in 2023-ish. Now that all the numbers are coming in, that it was difficult on the affordability to purchase a home. It absolutely was. And when I bought my home back in here, it was actually kind of a hard number there. Obviously here with the properties, the years where the distressed properties where anyone could get a loan, that's where it went there. But it is hard. So, when I want to, discuss that a little bit about, it's not just about interest rates. It's not just about pricing. It involves both of those, but it also involves wages. And so when you look at wages, mortgage rates, and home pricing, if you look at the wages of what's happening in the country, is that we have a giant spike right now of where our wages and the earning of what's happening. Obviously, with the economy and having recession, or with the economy having some issues and concerns with inflation, well, people have to make more money. So people, this is the newly graph that the Fed produced, that people are actually making more money, which is great. So people need to make more money because things are more expensive. So when you take those and you take the pricing forecast of the appreciation value of every home, or every in the country, of what the appreciation for new home sales, or not new, but existing home sales are going to be, or appreciation total is going to be approximately 3.2% is what they're thinking. And the average of all 7 of these leading contenders here, that are going to be saying that that's where we feel in 2024 the forecast of their appreciation is going to be. So you need to realize that yes, sitting there renting a house, that's fine. There might be a time and a place where you need to rent, but let's look at the basis of everything when you look at the consideration of the financial costs and benefits of renting versus owning. And one approach is to compare the monthly cost of renting a home against buying a home. With such cost comparisons, we can identify whether a market favors renting or buying. So if you look at this right here, average mortgage rate, yeah, I think our number's probably a little bit higher. This is again across the country, but we're probably closer to 2,500 or so in our average. But I will tell you right here, by looking at the rental markets, my studio apartments here in Grass Valley are renting for about 1,200. My one bedrooms are maybe about the 1,500, and my 2 bedrooms are exactly right here, about 1,800 to 1,950, what I'm actually asking for my 2 bedroom units. So overall right here, about the average is about 1,708. And you look at the average, that's only a couple $100 more to actually get into home ownership. So yeah, maybe this is 2,500, and maybe you're renting probably a 3 bedroom is definitely probably renting for 2,300 to 2,600. So you are maybe around $3,000 on a monthly mortgage on your average, and so you're only about the $300 difference. So when people say, "Hey, I want to wait," rental prices are going up, mortgage rates are going up, mortgage payments are going up. So it's all going to be even when you kind of come through, because I want to share this. So if you go back to the couple slides ago and you had the 3.2% appreciation for your home, and you bought a $400,000 house today, and you get that 5 years down the road, you have $83,000. $83,000 appreciation that you could stay in a rental. And that's fine, but you won't get that appreciation value of maybe I'm just going to wait. Maybe I'm just going to wait a little longer, save a little bit more money. So congratulations, shout out to a family that we got into contract over the weekend. In 2020, they were trying to buy a house. We got bid out on all sorts of things because they only had like 5% down, not a cash offer, not 25%. They decided they were going to rent, and they were going to save a bunch of money, and they were able to put down 20%, and we got into contract this weekend. So congratulations to them as well. So guys, I just wanted to share with you, again, NerdWallet, from high prices to low inventory, potential home buyers know it's gnarly out there, but you're ready for home ownership. The long-term benefit of buying often outweighs the pain of toughing out the surge, even in these days. So please subscribe to my channel if you have any additional questions in regards to the real estate market here locally. Very happy to share with that. But seriously, if you're thinking about buying a house, yeah, the interest rates where they're at, but there are some really, really good buys out there. So let's connect, let's get together to build a plan, whether you're going to be buying now or if you're going to be buying in 1 year, but at least have a plan in place for the home ownership to be able to get your $83,000 appreciation. If you're a seller, the inventory is spiking and is starting to kind of go up a little bit, and it's still a good time to sell as well. All right, guys, thanks so much. If you have any questions, let me know. Please subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk soon. Take care.